What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, we gotta talk about what's going on with Marvel's Avengers. It's kind of short but sweet, and sweet in a very, very negative way. I do kind of want to go off on this game a little bit, but before I do that, make sure if you guys are not already subscribed to this channel that you do so. I do a brand new video on tons of different things every single day on this channel. We're getting very, very close to 2,000. I think we can do it within the next couple days. Now, again, this is a pretty easy thing, so Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics came out yesterday and they said that the next-gen versions of Marvel's Avengers will be delayed. They will be delayed into 2021. So remember, these were supposed to come out, I believe, like launch day, pretty much, like somewhere around that November 10th, 12th time period. The Xbox Series X and S and PS5 all come out. That's when you would get the next-gen upgrade, which, to be clear, because it is important, I think, to discuss this, it doesn't mean you cannot play, and that is a good thing to keep in your head. Doesn't mean you can't play Avengers on your PS5 or your Series X or Series S. It'll still do backwards compatibility. The load times will be better. The frame rate will be better. All that stuff, okay? The stuff that the system itself can help boost up, that'll be better. But the next-gen upgrade, remember, it's not, and I've always said this, it's not fully built like from the ground up for next-gen, but it is taking more advantage of next-gen hardware than, say, the backwards compatible one, okay? It's kind of like a 0.5. It's not fully developed for next gen, but it's not just backwards compatible, which I guess you could call like a 0, and made for next gen would be like a 1. It's like a 0.5, okay? It's right in the middle. So you can still play it, even like for me, I mean, I have it digitally. I can still play this thing on the PS5 if I wanted to through backwards compatible, but at the same time, they delayed Kate Bishop. Now, I originally retweeted this story on Twitter. Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. I originally retweeted this, and the headline was just that the next gen version, got delayed. And even in my head, I was thinking, okay, well, there's still Kate Bishop. And then I, saw a couple other people tweet it. Or actually, I think I read the official, the post by them. And, when it said it's been pushed out of this month and to a later date. So does that mean it could be next month? Yes, I don't think that's happening. I think at this point we're looking more like December, like before Christmas. You kind of try to, I wouldn't even say sneak it out. I would say shove it out, okay, in terms of like we got to get this thing out there as quickly as humanly possible, but also kind of to save their game. So that is, to me, that is way more disappointing. The Kate Bishop thing is way more disappointing than just the next-gen version of the game, because when it comes down to it, if Kate Bishop was still delayed and the next-gen version came out, okay, that one didn't get delayed, I honestly wouldn't play it, because you see them updating it, you see them do war zones, and I get it. This is another negative video on Avengers. I mean, what do these people want? The people that just want me to heap praise on the game. I mean, how? How could you say things good about what the game has done so far, really? I mean, yes, there's positives in the game, but they have just botched this, like, incredibly, just so bad. This is a perfect example of just how not to do it. I said that on Twitter, and I even got some people to say, like, they should, and this has been a thing for a while, they should have just delayed the game in general. Yeah, I mean, come on. The first two patches, the first patch, fixed like 1,000 updates, or like fixed 1,000 things. Literally, over 1,000 things were fixed or patched in that first update. How do you launch a game with over 1,000 things broken in it? And yeah, you'll have some of the developers, I guess defend that and say, well, there's just no humanly possible way that we could actually test all of the different aspects of the game. It's just humanly impossible. Well, okay, well then why do other games do it? Why do other games come out? And yeah, there's patches for them, but the game's not broken. There's not 5,000 things wrong with it. And I say that, and that's not even hyperbole, because again, the first patch was, I think, 1,000. I think the second patch was close to it was in the hundreds, the second patch as well. So I mean, there's probably 2,000 to 4,000 things wrong, like statistically, that they've even come up with, statistically wrong with this game at launch. So, and you have it dipping in the people playing it, right? The player count, right? We talked about that actually earlier this week. I think like on Monday or Sunday we talked about it on this channel. There's 1,000 people or less playing this game every day on PC. And yeah, the Steam charts they're not representative of everything. You do have consoles, but Are people playing it on consoles? The matchmaking has never worked for me in the first place. Anytime I've ever tried to do matchmaking from even day one, it's either just not worked at all or it's gotten somebody, but I've jumped into a game and then I jump out and then there's all of a sudden just some random person in my group. The matchmaking has never one time, and I swear to you, on whatever you want me to swear, the matchmaking has never once worked for me in the first place. And so, I don't know, I'm sure it has problems finding people to join your match. I wouldn't know because it's never actually worked though, okay? So, yeah, it's just not a good way to do this. Again, if the next-gen version came out, whoop-de-doo, because you would play it, but what are you playing? You're playing, for me, I did what I wanted to do in that game. I'm waiting for additional stuff. And no, not having new war zones. New war zones are not going to, I'm telling you right now, they're not going to bring me back. I don't think they're bringing anybody back to this game. They're just the exact same thing again, with just a different area, which is probably not even a different area because we've been to all the areas that this game has, can actually give to us as of right now. Kate Bishop, as I've always said, the thing this game has going for it the most, and I've stood true to this, by the way, for like 6 months, the thing that this game has, for it the most is the DLC, is the characters. You keep putting out characters and people, I promise you, and I guess I can only promise myself, but I do guarantee lots of people. Now, will everybody? No. Will everybody for ever? No. But people will come back. People will come back to play the DLC characters, and that's what we're waiting for. And so for Kate Bishop to also be delayed, and again, out of October, but to a later date, that does tell me, again, if we want to read into that, that does tell me it probably will still be in 2020. I really, and again, the reasoning is you can't let this game go without that. You have to get us a DLC character before Christmas, because if you do not do that, people, right now it's at 1,000. You probably look for another month to like now again, Black Friday and Thanksgiving, and I guess even for like non-US people, just in general, the holiday time, you will see a spike back up. Okay, statistically, many games, actually not just games that come out in the fall, but games that even come out in the spring, even as early as any game that comes out in the calendar year. Okay, they do always get spikes around Christmas. Okay, there is always a jump around December 25th to, I would say, around January 5th to 6th. You do see a spike. So will this game spike no matter what? And by spike, I mean just go up. I don't actually mean it's not going to reach where it was like day one when the game first released. Yeah, that will happen. Around Christmas time, you will have people playing this game just because they got it for Christmas, and I feel sorry for them. But if you do Kate Bishop, and you have that, so if you do Kate Bishop like December 10th, okay, or Game Awards time, right? December 10th, 3 weeks later, 2.5 weeks later is Christmas. You will have, I would say, a pretty solid foundation, but then you gotta get us Hawkeye very soon. You gotta get us Hawkeye. You gotta start teasing Black Panther. You gotta, whoever the fourth one is, if it's Captain Marvel, if it's War Machine, it seems like it's War Machine, right? You gotta get these characters out. People do not just wait around. The allegiance is not that strong. This is not the MCU. This is a game, a very poorly done game that people will not wait around for, and it's not the only game on planet Earth either. That's another thing to remember. There are many other games, and we're about to enter a 4-week period with loads of games that's going to hurt this game even more, okay? So it's very disappointing. Again, not even the next-gen thing. If you had Kate Bishop come out in October, but you delayed the next-gen version, that would also be fine, because who cares? I would still play Kate Bishop, and if it came out, say, the day next-gen consoles comes out, I would play it on next-gen consoles through backwards compatibility, because it's not that big of a deal. But when you delay both of them, you really couldn't do it worse. You know what I mean? So, guys, let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Are you just as upset about it as I am? And for the record, I'm not pacing back and forth. I'm not like hurting myself because of this, right? I get excited in these videos. I've forgotten about Avengers pretty much for the last 2 weeks ever since I stopped playing it. I'm doing good. Okay, it's not going to mentally crush me. But this is just a fun discussion to talk about with you guys. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure, as always, you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when all these videos go up. And again, I do a brand new video on this channel every single day. And so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.